overnight of the year. It's time to start thinking about the RHT, my new minimal garden railway. I've been building the RHT as a minimal garden railway, but what does that mean?
For military use, the smallest practical narrow gauge railway size was considered for a while to be 18-inch gauge, and more information on 18-inch gauge railways can be found in this book on the subject by Mark Smithers, and I think the going rate for this book is 1 or maybe 2 kidneys at the moment. A delightful book on 18-inch gauge estate railways is the book by Paul Ingham and K. Hartley, another excellent read available at the moment. But Sir Arthur Hayward had other ideas and championed the use of 15-inch gauge for minimum gauge, the minimum practical gauge, and information about his doings can be found in this book. Was the first one I got, but recently this by James Waterfield has been published, and there's due to be another volume yet to go. This is a superb book, and it details all of the design considerations for a little railway on 15-inch gauge. So that's minimum gauge, and what we're going for is minimal gauge, which is something one step further.
So if a minimum gauge railway is a 15-inch gauge railway which is doing a proper job of work, carrying goods and passengers, rather than just holidaymakers and enthusiasts, then a minimal gauge railway is anything fewer than 15 inches in gauge, which is also doing a proper job of work. So in building the RHT, I want to create a useful tool for maintaining my vegetable growing efforts, and I've chosen 5-inch gauge to do this. And it's dangerous to say this sort of things, as we've seen from Sir Arthur Hayward, but I think 5-inch gauge is the minimum practical, useful railway gauge. So far, I've built a workshop, shed, a few wagons, a few bits of railway infrastructure. I've collected and manufactured quite a few panels of track, which you'll have seen knocking around the place. And I've got a bit of a plan. The plan is to have the tramway reach every part of the garden, so that I can transport compost to put on top of the vegetable beds, but I can also take food waste from the house to put on the compost heaps. Now, just to show you how much plans often change, this is the plan I drew out at the start of 2019 for the garden, and that is the black line that curves around here. I'd planned a siding there. This is across the lawn and up into the shed, and a siding here into the polytunnel. But this line here proved to be far too steep, so we tried running Madge, my steam engine, up and down, and it wouldn't haul my weight and push some wagons up without a really good run up, and there really isn't the space to get a good run up, and I don't particularly want to dig a big scar out of the lawn. So, with the arrival of a couple of new sets of points, ex-Chesterfield Club, the new plan is to, starting at the shed, we've got this siding down into the polytunnel here, and we'll have a set of points that come off, go alongside the polytunnel. I've already removed this bush here next to the pond, and it will go along here, and I've moved the bins across to this side of the garden, and this will be one extent of the rails. Moving back across here, we'll have another set of points, a piece of track which will cross across the lawn, and we'll come over here to a hedge shunt at this end of the garden, near to the potting desk, potting bench, potting table. I'm going to have to change the shape of the flower beds, cut them back a little bit, and I'll probably put in another flower bed here so that the lawn sort of swoops around in a sort of nice aesthetic swoop. Then there'll be another set of points, and we'll have this siding down to here to the compost bins where they'll be. And here is a bed for some herbs. So that is the plan over the next year, and hopefully that'll make quite a fun little estate railway to operate. The vegetable garden doesn't really look at its best at this time of year. We've got the last of the runner beans, which I'm hoping will dry out so I can keep the beans themselves for use in stews and soups throughout the winter. And we've got some beetroot still clinging on, but next year, with the help of the railway, I'm hoping that the vegetable yield will be much higher, and of course I'm not sure how I would be able to cope with a much higher vegetable yield without the use of a little railway to help me transport the produce to and fro and spread the compost. So that's the plan for the Romsey Horticultural Tramway project. I'm looking forward to bringing you along as we explore the world of minimal gauge railways.